You're live from
Not
Florida.
I was gonna say.
It's Sunday afternoon live. Let's see. Okay, that's about as far as I can stretch it. All right. What's up, everyone? Kajno Kami here with
Krelika King, who's a little chilly right now.
on this very cold Sunday morning in Florida.
Oh,
Come to Florida, they said. It's endless summer, they said. Didn't know it was the frickin' Shining.
well, there's no snow. At least where we're at.
Well, no snow, but it's still cold. If you're gonna make it this cold, snow. So at least get some enjoyment out of it.
I don't want snow. And anyways, you said you wanted to break from snow. You didn't say you wanted to break from winter. You didn't say you wanted to break
I did
from
say
cold.
winter.
No, you said snow.
I said I wanted a separation from winter.
Well, apparently she's a brutal bitch.
Who's a stalking ex. All right, but we are here to
Well,
bitch.
let's see what comments we have so far. Real quick, just to say. So we have Anthony, who is joining us, ZZ the Dark, and the A Games.
Hello.
So Anthony says hello to both of us. ZZ, or ZZ, says hello. I just realized that the Dawn brothers are like the opposite of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team now that I think about it.
Okay.
I'll have to think about that one, but I'd like to know more. And then the A Game says these Gozyuger episodes were something. Wow, you read his mind. And then ZZ the Dark said, last Christmas, instead of I give you my heart, we're freezing our butts off. Yes. Admittedly, I actually do like that song. I think it's Wham that did it, even though it's George Michael singing. He was in a band, in a pop duo band called Wham. I can't remember who he was with. They did Wake Me Up Before You Go and songs like that. Their most popular song was Last Christmas.
Wham? Was there another band called Bam?
And then what? A third band called Thank You Ma'am? So you have Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am?
No.
You never heard of that phrase?
I was going to say pow, bam, wham,
and
things
then,
you see in comic books.
So then we have the A Game saying, happy February 1st, you two. Well, yeah, because it's Groundhog's Day around now, too.
Isn't that like tomorrow or something?
I think so. And then, hello, folks from in the Tokuverse from Kamen Rider 64. Hello. And then Anthony Serkis. Gozyuger is not good, in my opinion. So, before we get to actually the episodes, before we get to the episodes, it's funny because he's like, I don't know how we're going to talk about these. Can you shut up so I can talk? He was talking about the fact that he didn't know how he was going to explain these episodes during this live stream. And then he's like, wait, I still have to do an actual review of the back half of the series. How the hell am I going to talk about that?
There's nothing to talk about except the whole Sumino thing because nothing has happened since my part 1 review.
So, okay. We watched 3 episodes, right? 4.
We watched 3 the other day, and today was the 4th.
Okay.
So our first episode was the second parter to the Origami Red, Ninja Red episode.
Oh, yeah, where Daddy's back to kind of show everybody how to be Rangers, apparently. But I will say my favorite part of that episode, while Kaiju runs away in tears again, is that it doesn't come out until like the second half of the episode, admittedly. But when Sasuke is like, yeah, I wasn't the actual leader of the Rangers. That was Tsuruhime. He's like, I actually kind of started it. Like, he
was the reason the yokai got out. Oh, but Saizo was there too with me.
No, everybody's like, it's all your fault. And he's like, but Saizo was there. I'm like, great deal. Throwing your ally under the bus when he can't defend himself because you want to give Hoeru a little bit of like motivation that not always is the leader.
But I love though that he was hosting this yokai contest. And they're all designing themselves off the yokai from Kaku Ranger.
Yes.
So you had Sumino being the long-necked woman from episode 2. You had, Ryuji dressed up as the Kappa, which was also what blue and yellow were transforming into in the series. Mm-hmm. You had, Rikyo was, one of them was Bakuneko, although they didn't have the breasts on Bakuneko. Mm-hmm. And then they all dressed Hoeru up as the episode, which was fitting, the episode of Kaku Ranger that was solely the Red Ranger episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the yokai from that one.
Oh.
So I actually found that kind of funny that was the one they dressed him up as.
And just for awareness, the reason why you're not getting Tokunomics tomorrow is because I've felt like shit this entire week. So for anybody who hasn't seen anywhere else, sad news that we received actually right before I recorded the Tokunomics episode last week. So that's why I feel like it's my worst episode, but I had no other choice at that moment because I committed, is unfortunately his dad passed away last Sunday. So it's been a crazy week of emotions, non-emotions, and before anybody makes any comments, we all grieve in different ways over loss. So, but it's been something else because he was literally the nicest human being in the world. Because he dealt with you as your chauffeur prior to me becoming your chauffeur.
I'm a forever passenger. Actually, that's kind of funny because somebody actually mentioned on Twitter the other day, hey, does anyone else remember when they did driver's ed classes at high school? I'm like, no.
I actually never did driver's ed.
We never did. Our high school didn't have that.
No, our high school didn't have that.
If they did, then I probably would not have become a forever passenger.
Oh my God, yeah, your mom would have forced your ass to learn how to drive.
But anyway, so we had, So we have, Sasuke telling Hoeru, hey, it's okay if you're not the leader of the group. I wasn't the leader. Tsuruhime was the leader. She's the reason we all ended up sticking together.
And she's the reason we're all alive. Too.
But I also did like how it directly references that this takes place a short time after the 30th anniversary movie.
Which kind of amazed me because he pumped himself up back in the fighting capacity compared to the 30th anniversary movie really well, because the only person who was still fighting by the time the 30th anniversary movie came to play was Jiraiya.
Well, okay, and the other thing we missed, didn't mention last time when we did the first part, is where Sasuke actually mentions when he puts on the Kaku Ranger ring that the powers of the rings are actually weaker than the original Ranger powers.
Yes, I remember that. And I thought that was pretty hilarious because it means that some of those weaker Ranger powers still kicked the regular Rangers' asses many times over.
But I did like this two-parter with Origami Red, and I do feel like Origami Red realizing Hoeru is a Red Ranger was a little too easy.
Well, it's also a kid in a way.
But I did like this two-parter overall. Well, I thought also having Muteki Shogun show up for the mech fight was pretty awesome.
Well, I like the two-power once again because Sasuke's actor was there playing Sasuke like he would from the series. Because Sasuke was a responsible person, but he grew to that way.
Well, he was irresponsible and grew responsible.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And he was also in the series somewhat of an asshole at times. Not bad, I mean arrogance. Asshole meaning arrogance, like even to the end, you couldn't take that arrogance out of him. So when he meets the Rangers in the last episode, and it kind of continues into this, he still has that arrogance about him along with the silliness, which is what makes Kaku Ranger so great.
Well, so we have the end here with then Hoeru is given both the King Oger ring and the Kaku Ranger ring. Oh, no, not Ryuji is given the Kaku Ranger ring because Sasuke liked his Kappa outfit the best because of what happened to it. Reminded him of Sakai and Saizo when they became Kappa in Kaku Ranger. So I did laugh at that. But one thing you noticed here, Sumino's presence is pretty much non-existent throughout all these episodes. Even in the next episode, which is supposed to be centering on her and Kinjiro.
So, I'm going to backtrack real quick to a lot of the controversies. Not to get into the controversy, because
we've had enough of that.
We've had enough of that. But when they said that they were recasting, they had made the comment, or a comment was made. I don't know if this was legitimized, that apparently her scenes were going to be minimized for the remainder of the series. Now, obviously, that could have been conjecture. And so it's hard for me to say, were her scenes minimized because of the controversy and having to do the extra work?
I don't think so, considering how episodes when she was not the focus earlier in the show, she barely was even in those episodes.
And that's what I was going to say as well, is there's an element of, it almost feels like throughout the entirety of the show that the female Ranger character, even from early on, was significantly minimized.
But so Sumino's barely in this episode. Now that they have all the Ranger rings, it's time for them to do their final battles, ring battles with each other.
I thought you were going to do like the duel.
I already did that in my countdown video.
Oh.
It's time to duel. But they're doing rock, paper, scissors until they get to only 2 people each do the same one. So there's 2 rock, 2 paper, 2 scissors, which must have taken forever to get it synced up like that.
Well, in normal circumstances, it can take a long time if you have to do that. Because it's not the first time I've seen people do
But we come down to it's Sumino and Kinjiro, Ryuji and Rukio, and Hoeru and Kumade.
Which, I don't even know if they needed to necessarily do that, because it kind of fits.
But anyway, so we have Kinjiro and Sumino are going to have their final confrontation. And the whole episode focuses on Kinjiro and why he doesn't want to lose his ring, but he also doesn't know if his wish is actually legitimate compared to Sumino wanting her sister awake. But we never see Sumino's point of this story. She is not present whatsoever. It is all just on Kinjiro. And as cool as that was, this should be a dual episode. They should be getting equal screen time, both.
Like, personally, I think the duels, like, for this, should have been the last 6 episodes rather than the last 2.
But we never get a scene. They could have even just given us a scene of Sumino going to the hospital to visit Oto and all this stuff, like something with her. But no, it was all on Kinjiro. Now, I did like Shining Cake and or Shining Knife and Cake or whatever. They're coming down and having a chat with Kinjiro. because they're like the married couple, and their little thing was kind of funny, especially when he's like, "That's cheating," when they grew big. But the whole thing was one-sided, just to have Kinjiro be the one to lose, because he didn't give it his all on purpose, because he discovered what being a party pooper or a party person meant.
Well, okay, so I agree with all of that, and I'm not going to dispute that. But I will say the one thing that I thought was really cool is that you did bring back the actor who is older Kinjiro.
Meeting his family again.
And seeing almost like a development from the grandfather perspective, because the one thing that you learn about the family again is that his grandson loves to draw. And rather than going the traditional path, which I'm going to leave my HR brain out of this.
The traditional path is so worthless at this day and age, though. It's pointless. It's worthless.
All I'm going to say is that he was afraid to tell his grandfather, because his grandfather, who was always very serious-minded, always path-motivated of, you need to do this, A, B, C, and D, basically said, that's great, follow your dreams. And him and his grandson and his son were like, who are you? But I also like the fact that with Shining Knife and Sweet Cake, because that's her name.
Yeah.
When they're talking to him and he's showing pictures of him and his wife when they're younger, and he finds a picture of them older, probably one of the last pictures they took before her passing, she said, you are stupid. You are serious stupid, or stupid serious, whichever variation it was. But I love you the way you are. And I think for so many people, and honestly, that's probably one of the reasons why I'm sick this week, is because thinking about as you age, how so many things are unimportant compared to where you thought they were. It's odd. So it was kind of cool to see him think, well, I can be a party person without being young forever.
Yes. And then, so he loses the ring to Sumino and he gets to remain young because apparently he asked Tegasor to let him stay young until the ring battle is over, which is so weird considering earlier in the series, it was required that he could only be young as long as he wore the ring.
Yes.
So I am very confused on how come they just keep changing the rules and moving the goalposts.
Well, if they change the rules for Sumino, then they have to change the rules for everything.
So we have that problem.
Well, sorry, somebody's comment in the chat. We'll talk about that, but
So then we come to episode. Let's do 47, then we'll go through more comments.
Okay, that's fine.
Huh?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I saw one comment that I'm sad about, but.
So this episode. Oh yes, and we also had Fire coming to the Tegasaurus world to talk to Bouquet, and he's going like, so what's going to happen to the No One world? And Tega June's like, I don't know, which I'm still wondering. Doesn't Tega June have like the No One inside of her as her pilot? What's going on with that?
No, it's not a No One inside of her. It's a corpse inside of her.
Well, it's No One creation, No One.
Yes, but it's still a corpse.
But what's going on with that? Is this going to play into the finale, or what's going on there?
You're asking questions that.
But anyway, so Fire Candle's all like, okay, well, then I'm going to continue fighting this world because the show has no idea what they want me to do. So I'm just going to continue the battle. And now the other thing, though, I was thinking about this because the grunts are spelled A-I-Y-E-E-E or Y-E-S-S-S-S or whatever it is, or I-E. Are they pronounced I's or AI's? I was thinking about it because the whole June's entire army was AI. So are they supposed to be pronounced AI's, not I's?
How do they pronounce them in the show?
I don't know. I can never catch it.
Maybe.
But it's just a thought that occurred to me when Fire Candle was
so
talking
basically
about
the phonetic pronunciation of the letters.
Yes.
I never thought about that, but that could make sense because when you think about pronouncing any kind of letter, you actually have it written out.
But yeah, it just thought of like, okay, well, actually, if they're all machines, then wouldn't it be AIs?
Possibly, yeah. That would make a lot of sense, actually.
But anyway, so our next episode is going to be between Rikuo and Ryuji. The episode starts off. They have been apparently doing battle for 9 hours that we never saw.
Which is not surprising because a lot of shows have done that. So I'm not going to completely.
And they've come to the decision they are evenly matched and can't beat each other in battle. So Ryuji decides, I'm going to become your manager and make you a famous idol again.
Producer.
Yes, producer. So that you can just hand me the ring. And apparently Rikuo's entire purpose in this show is he has stage front. That the entire character arc for him across the entire series is he has stage front.
Which, in legitimacy, there's a lot of musicians, actors who have social anxiety, who are extreme introverts, who have stage fright. So it's not surprising.
But that's his entire character arc.
Well, that's what I think is so... Well, he sang a different fucking song finally.
Which made me just think of every K-pop video ever.
Which, okay, I love K-pop Demon Hunters. I've watched it. I love the songs. But can I just say, as much as I love the song Golden, there are...
Golden.
It's one of the main songs from the movie. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 other songs they could sing all the time.
Is this the girl band or the boy band?
Well, I meant all together, girl and boy. There's 3 songs. Well, 2 songs for the girl band. No, 3 songs for the girls.
I was gonna say, wait, the girl band only has 2 songs in the entire movie, and yet there's supposed to be this big popular pop song?
It's a segment of their careers, but there's 3 songs. The boy band has 2 songs, and then the leader of the boy band, the leader of the girl band have a song together called Free. So there's 6 songs all together in the movie. So play other songs. I like Golden, but I'm sick of it.
Which one's Golden?
I will play it for you.
Okay.
It's a good song. I just heard way too
But
many times.
But he does well. So the whole episode is centered around Rikuo has stage fright. Ryuji once again has no character arc at all because his character story ended like 15 episodes ago.
I was gonna say it ended when he left after he lost to Hoeru and became a doctor again.
I don't even know what happened to his cult that he was building up, or
I don't know. I'm a
what the purpose of this Tegasword book was that has never been mentioned again in like the last 15 episodes. But so Bouquet is trying to help promote Rikuo and ends up getting people asking her if she's an idol and all like falling for anything. Anytime she says something, they're all like, "Ah!" But you
just want that adoration. Don't lie. You want people to have that adoration towards you.
And not have to work for it? Yes. But so we have a battle going. We have the battle going on with what was the? It wasn't a calamity, was it? No, because they had finished off the
Yeah, because Vidal was eaten by
fire candle.
Fire Candle.
So I forget exactly what they're fighting, but it was Fire Candle with a bunch of goons.
Yes.
That's right. So they're fighting him, and Rikuo and Ryuji finally have their fight. They go to run at each other, and it pulls a Kamen Rider Fives, where then it just cuts to Rikuo doing his concert, and we see Ryuji with Rikuo's ring at the cafe as the concert's going on, implying that, yep, he won the fight. All of this off screen.
And that's all I heard yesterday was Kamen Rider Fives, Kamen Rider Fives.
And once again, Sumino was barely even in this episode.
Was she at all?
She was in one scene when Kinjiro. Wait, was that Hannah? Or was? No, I think she was in one scene in the cafe at the end of the episode. But now you got me thinking, like, wait, was she? Okay, well, but then we have Kumade, who's been having some weird feelings out of nowhere at times, is walking and something appears in the distance.
Oh, God, I'm not going to.
He stops. Huh? The bear Kuma is like, everything okay? I guess so. They turn around, and suddenly in front of them is the Smile robot from Doctor Who cosplaying in a Sentai boss costume.
So,
and he's like, hello, Kumade. I'm Rex. Or no, Kumade calls him Rex.
I will say I got Doctor Who vibes as well. Because I see this circular white face with a smile. And obviously it's very different. But it's still, I was like, we can have Amy Pond come out with a sword and be like all badass and try to kill it.
It's either the Smile robot or it's the little fat creatures from the David Tennant episode inside a robot suit. But or someone actually also posted it's Mikey from Tokuaannetwork, because I want to say it was the Yellow Ranger from Tokuaannetwork, when she was a kid, had an imaginary friend named Mikey who was basically looked like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Mikey likes it. That's all I think of for those.
And so somebody else made that comparison. That's Mikey as a cosplaying as a Sentai boss. But,
so it doesn't look anything like a Sentai boss. It looks like everything else in the universe. That's what you should take from this explanation.
But yes.
But I will say, I actually thought it was hilarious looking. Like, I actually liked the design, even because the smiley face in the center and the voice is so off-putting comparatively.
I didn't hate the design at all. I was just like, really? That's our big bad? Like, what about our death calamity? Because we've had war, pestilence, and famine, we're still missing death, which we'll get into in the next episode.
All right, so let me go back here. All right. ZZ the Dark. He's crying. He's crying. You're breaking him and shutting him up, and you're laughing. Yeah. Oh, well. For when you were crying.
Oh,
yes, I'm shutting
my fake cry.
He doesn't cry real tears. His tear ducts are legitimately broken. So when he tries to cry real tears, all that comes out is salt, not saline.
I assault everyone.
I've only actually seen him cry once, and it was over 20 years ago. So.
I'll never make that mistake again.
So was it sad that I missed Ron Wasserman's music when Sasuke was fighting the Rangers? Ron Wasserman's combat made the fight a lot more palatable. You probably know who that is more than I.
Well, he was the composer for Power Rangers in the early days.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm assuming he's a real person, but I didn't know. Okay. So he did all of that, like...
He did the soundtrack for the first several seasons.
He did all the kind of rock type music?
Yes.
I say kind of rock because... it felt my music nerd mind at that point in time thought it was trying too hard. Because it was too heavy on guitars and bass and didn't seem to have a lot of other instrumentals to go with it. Like it was reminiscent of a little bit more of the rock punk era, but I think rock at that time was more grunge too, so it just didn't fit the music of the time. But it's not bad. The only good part, and this is from the A Games, of episodes 44 and 45 was the surprising return of the actual actor of Ninja Red. And then Anthony Sarkis says, the thing I'm looking forward to the most in the Gozyuger versus Boonboonger movie is the final updated version of Go-Kyger Getter. And then Box Knight says, howdy.
Yo.
I always loved the word howdy.
Howdy! Yeehaw!
I even remember like howdy doody and
I mean the duty.
So ZZ Dark says, I played the MMRP theme when Muteki Shogun came in. It was the only way for me to get through anything Gozyuger related. See, I could see you doing that.
But I'd use the Kaku Ranger music.
Well, I remember certain elements of the music from Power Rangers, like mainly because it had the guy singing along top of it. He also says, Sasuke and Saizo were dressed like Bill and Ted. Still can't get over Orga Red's crane sound. Damn, it's annoying. Well, yeah, I love the fact that they're dressed like Bill and Ted, but not Bill and Ted, because they're dressed like the era. They're dressed perfectly encapsulated in what you expect of the 90s when you're looking when you look back at the 90s and people think of what you should dress like for the 90s, show them that scene of Kaku Ranger, because it's what everybody assumed we all dressed like in the 90s.
Well, yeah.
And it's funny because only a small population did.
Well, yeah, Sugimura, when they were doing Kaku Ranger, Sugimura said that they went for a street fashion theme with the clothing. That's why even the yokai are wearing like street clothes from that time period.
Well, and it's funny because they look more American with their street fashion. That made me think, like, is that what Japanese dress like too? Because you had all the flannels,
all the layers.
Oh my God. I think the reason I wear layers still today is because I was raised perfectly as a late 80s, 90s kid. So layers are like a part of my...
I found layers to be very uncomfortable, which is why I have like a t-shirt or whatever.
I was going to say,
I can't do layers.
You have dressed the same style since the 90s.
But I can't do layers.
Oh, no, you hate wearing jackets. And I will never see him in a cardigan or a sweater or anything like that. Like, you hated it when you had to have because he would never wear just the polo shirt for work. He would wear a t-shirt, then the polo shirt. So the moment he ran out of school at the end of his workday, he could tear off that.
Well, same with like Best Buy when I worked there.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate it. I hate wearing layers.
You're a terrible 90s kid. Terrible 90s kid. Also, King Gozyuger Universe Warrior being beaten off screen. Yes, ZZ Dark. I think that pisses all of us off.
We went over that a lot.
It caused me to boot off from a live stream early. It's that bad.
Yeah, I had my rant on that a couple weeks ago with that bullshit.
So, Anthony asked the question, which you've seen both of them in its entirety. Which series do you prefer, Jaka or Q Ranger?
I will take Jaka over Q Ranger. It's shorter. and it still does have. I still like the mature level of Jacka.
And it always, I'm going to say something that's probably obvious, but I never thought about it until I looked at it again. It really is the letters of the main suite.
Yeah.
Jack,
Ace, King, Queen.
I just thought that was actually
it's
just random letters.
Because it's a playing card theme.
Oh, I thought it was just, so, blonde moment. My
Heart
apologies.
Queen, Spade, or wait. Heart Queen. No, not Heart Queen. Pink Heart, Red Spade, Blue. No. I'm mixing it all up now.
And then next comment was, I think episode 48, which we'll get to in a moment, should have been 2 to 3 parters in and of itself. Totally hands down agree. I think
all these episodes should have been multi-parters. The whole last several episodes with Bouquet should have been multi-parters.
So Anthony's comment says, and I like how Easy the Dark agrees with it, I have a feeling Kaiju reviewing second half of Gozyuger, he's going to go full AVGN, like
Angry Video Game Nerd.
Oh, thank you. I was like, I imagine this is a acronym for something, but yes, I think I've only watched 1 or 2 of the dude's videos, but yeah, I could see that.
I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might just try to remain calm the entire review.
Do you want to have some of my happy pills? I have lithium tablets.
No, but that gives me an idea for an opening with We Happy Few.
I was going to say, you're going to do an opening on lithium?
Or the Happiness Patrol for Doctor Who. We're happy. We're always happy. We're smiling.
Smile, smile.
Actually, maybe I'll do that since I'll be making the smile robot joke in my review.
And ZZ the Dark's comment was, got that right. And then we should have paid attention to the majority of the side characters that made Gozyuger who they are. Like, why?
Well, okay, I'll note side stuff for Gozyuger. Just thinking about it. Okay, we were already talking about No One Creation being Tega Jun's pilot that has ceased to exist, apparently. Mm-hmm. What happened to Sumino's mind-reading powers? That just seemed to get forgotten in like 20 episodes.
I was going to say, that was forgotten before the actor changed.
Yeah, that was forgotten before she even met Rei.
Mm-hmm.
So Sumino's powers have disappeared.
Well, I feel like all of their powers.
Tega Jun, what was the purpose of all these battles, all these number 1 battles? I don't even understand what the actual goal of winning the fights were. The Ranger Ring battles became an afterthought. What was the other thing I was thinking about with the show? When I was like, what happened to that thing? What was it?
Well, why do you think Fire Candle's so mad? He's asking the same question as the audience.
What was the point?
Yes. What was the point of all of this if we're just going to go back? And then Janakan Kangaroo. I love that name. Janakan Kangaroo Ja 294. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, Jakan.
Oh.
Or no, not Jakan. I was thinking for a moment. Jakanja from Hurricane.
Oh, it's not kangaroo. It's Janakan Kanagara Ja. Okay. I said kangaroo. Excuse me. I apparently added a whole lot of new letters, but I still love your name because it's like a play on something. But hello, Janakan Kanagara Ja. I still love it. The episode feel like they would have happened much earlier in the show. Like Sasuke's felt like should have happened in the middle of the show, and 48 felt like it should have came out 10 episodes ago. 2 rights.
Okay. Yeah.
And then compared to the Sentai I've seen, yes, this show tried way too hard to be meta, but it falls flat, and that's easy. I'd rather have Naruhisa Arakawa or Yasuko Kobayashi write this show more than, well, Little Miss Inoue. Inoue Jr., yes. And I just wonder, do you plan to review Toku Spider-Man?
I'll get to it at some point.
That means no.
No, I have it. I will
No.
just. I'm trying to focus more on the stuff I have official, like legal release copies of, outside of Kamen Rider.
Then changing the rules because they changed more rules than Super Mega Force ever did. For shame. For shame. Oh my God. I just now think if you're going to do that, you need to have the Game of Thrones. Having that walk down the path that Cersei does, and shame.
But have the Gozyuger image in it.
Well, yeah. And then Udis, hello Udis, says there are too much generic Toku series to review.
Yes. There's a lot of Toku series to review.
Well, I almost think like if you have a foundation, why not just make it generic? You don't have to do anything fancy. But then again, there's a lot of generic shows.
The problem is the generic shows don't get the views. That's the problem. The reviews don't get the views to justify watching 40, 50 episodes, spending all those hours to make a review, and then have like 20 people watch it. That's the hard part. That's why I'm not, I'm not going to discount those shows, but why they're not a higher priority for me compared to the shows that are getting the views and the ad revenue, because since this is my main job, I need to do the stuff that's going to make that money.
Yes, because if he doesn't, he has to get a real job.
It is a real job.
I'm kidding. I love your face. You're like, it is a real. I'm never saying.
Don't turn into my dad now.
Your dad didn't yell at you.
No, but he did call YouTube not a real job.
He was from an era where internet didn't exist.
Yes, I know. And that's the thing that all these people have to understand is, so what? Cybersecurity wasn't a thing when you were a kid.
Well, it probably was, but not for the common folk.
Not for boomers.
Well, I thought you meant for us. I was
for boomers.
I think it existed. And then but who cares? These idiots should have been the no ones. That's from ZZ Dark. Kamen 64 says pretty cool. Jana says, I don't think it was staged for it, but more he didn't want to keep losing his audience. The Tegasword wish was more to keep him as a #1 idol, but not really have to work for it. I think that is more.
Well, okay, I will say I did like when Ryuji got actually pissed off at him for that. Mm-hmm. That was probably the only time in the last 20 episodes Ryuji has shown any amount of character. Was, what do you mean you're just using this as a free card?
Well, yeah. And the comments I was worried about are gone. Hopefully they just delete them. But somebody had mentioned how they seem like they're having liver failure. So yeah,
that sucks.
And that's something I have to watch out for too with my liver. So if the person is still watching, please do take care of yourself. Liver issues are nothing to joke about, because while your liver can heal, you only have one of them. It's not like with your kidneys that you at least have a spare, even though you kind of do need both. Let's see. Let me go back. What would you say is your favorite episode of the series? I'll go first because I don't have to think about it as much as he does. There's
only two obvious choices.
Well, for me, it's probably not his obvious choice, but For me, it's always going to be the murder mystery episode. I've always loved murder mysteries. I grew up watching them with my grandmother, so they have my grandparents, but more so my grandmother. So they have a special place in my heart. I've always loved that for radio shows, movies, television. So anytime you can have a locked room murder mystery like what we had with Gozyuger's episode, that was awesome to me. It may have not been the best episode in tokusatsu history, in Sentai history, what have you, but to me, that was the best episode because you could also tell that the entire cast was having fun with it as well. And I love at the end of the episode, spoilers for whoever has not watched it at this point, the dead body is actually still alive. Fire Candle jumps into his arms and says, "We're going out for drinks." And I just thought it was hilarious. But
no, it's the Showa.
Oh, Showa World episode was
not Showa World. Showa No One. No One Showa, whatever. Number one Showa, whatever it was. Remember, Showa World was Zenkaiger.
Oh, sorry, but
that would be my favorite, followed with the Sasuke two-parter. Even though it pissed me off with the whole King Oger BS with Susumu, whatever.
Sumino.
No, not Sumino.
Oh.
The King Oger ring guy.
Susumu.
Susumu.
I don't care anymore. He wasn't relevant to the series.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter. He didn't matter in the first place.
We can call this Sentai season non-existent now, correct? Still, wouldn't mind Boonger being considered the final Sentai.
If only it worked that way.
Yeah. I wish it could be games. I really wish. And then Udis. His comment, Vi's also ended very badly. I think it ended with like the Sands of Time, right? Or am I thinking the movie where my least favorite character ever just went to dust?
Well, no. Kaiser got his upgrade form in the last arc of Fives.
And I hated Kaiser. Kaiser is literally like, if you have to call a Salt character like you do in fighting games, apparently, this is a thing for my friends.
Well, that's what he turned into Salt. That's his upgrade form.
Oh, that's what you meant by upgrade form. I was like, I thought he did get a power up in his.
No, his upgrade form was his Duster mode.
He
made a clean getaway.
So when Kaiser, talking about another entire show, just goes.
His character blew.
And that was the one time I think, even still today, when he bit it, I actually cheered.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Because he died protecting the child. So you're kind of like, oh man, they had to make him go out as a hero.
Yes.
I think it was.
But I still cheered. But it was a hard cheer because he did something heroic. But it's Kaiser.
Me being the heartless one, I'm like, yeah.
But okay, I was so but we also got from Jana. I was so glad he got another song fight. Thank you. As I said with my diatribe on Golden, it's kind of like with any Toku series, even Sailor Moon, when
Zoisite plays the same two songs over on the piano.
No, I'm thinking of also C'est la vie.
Oh.
When she sings the same fucking song throughout the series. I'm like, you're telling me that this number one idol in the world
has one song.
I'm like, we sure that they're the number one idol or just the best one-hit wonder we've ever seen? Because if we're going to do that, I would rather listen to either I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred.
Ooh. There we go.
Or so many other one-hit wonders.
Tado in the Shadows. You can do it. Tado in the Shadows type scenario with Toku bands that were one-hit wonders.
Oh my god. They're just, it's like, dude. there are more songs in the universe. So I was quite happy. Oh yeah, the emoji episode. That's Jana said the emoji episode in the series. I'm trying to remember that one. And you do say the smile robot from Doctor Who is but another Toku YouTuber. Achilles thinks that Rex looks like the evil version of Baymax. I never thought of that.
Holy shit! Yep, Baymax.
Yes, because that's a Disney.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Big Hero 6?
Thank you. I was like, I think I've seen that movie, but yeah, Baymax. Oh my god. Yes. See, everybody has a different perspective of what this creature is.
Baymax, Mikey, Smile Robot. I mean, what was the other thing I said? The Marshmallow.
Mm-hmm.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is a Sentai villain.
I like the A games. Welcome to my Lithium review. Okay. Lithium is what makes me not cry when I'm talking to my boss on the damn telephone at times. And unfortunately, the last time I was talking to her this week, I had not taken it. But it is a useful tool for people who have mental health disorders. The psychic power was forgotten when we first met Unicorn character, to be honest, from the A games. And that is the truth.
No, because she used it. Well, she used it on one of the monsters to read his thoughts. I think that was like episode 11 or 12, because she read what attack he was going to do, so she went and did an opposite attack.
So Pixel Nixie.
Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Just so you're aware, for anybody who has, I give everybody very unique representations of their usernames, because apparently I'm blind and I have dyslexic moments. But I like your comment here. Hearing your review of the loss of particular powers feels like Gozyuger got unintentionally Inui'd.
I wouldn't say Inuit usually did.
Inuit, oh no. Do not justify. Because think of Kiva. There were many things that were Inui'd out during that series that were like, wait, where did this go?
I was thinking more of Toriyama, because like how he would forget that, because he forgot that about lunch in Dragon Ball.
Oh, well, okay.
He forgot that the Saiyans were supposed to be born with tails. That's why Goten and Trunks didn't have tails when they were born.
I know, they retconned that in other times, but, well, also, so yes, Toriyama, well, he also gave Vegeta a personality change because he hated Vegeta so much that when he killed Vegeta, his plan was for Vegeta to be gone. And then the fans were so pissed off that
the Shonen Jump editors like, you need to bring Vegeta back.
Poor Toriyama. I bless that man, because he had so many Alzheimer's moments with his own series, because Lunch actually looks a little bit like Android 18, and Krillin's daughter is named after Krillin's ex-girlfriend.
Well, she was only in the anime, though.
I don't give a shit. The fact is, it's canon for the show that most people more so watch versus reading the manga that Krillin named his own child after an ex-girlfriend. No. Like, okay, having Richie named after Margie's friend who sacrificed his life for her is so different than naming your child after somebody you banged and you broke up with. But going on, I will agree. Inoue had a lot of good times of forgetting about things. Think about even Don Brothers. As much as I love Don Brothers, he innovated things out. Like, we don't even know what that world is. Is Denny D. It could be Deny, but I go with Denny. Actually, no, I like Deny. But is also another Toku YouTuber,
Dawson Rider.
Says two things. Like, one, that Gozyuger is same as Kamen Rider Decade, since we got to see Ninja Red, OG, and two, he says if Sentai will return under another Project Red banner. So I could see a Sentai like series returning under Project Red, but not being Sentai. Because
there is a Sentai under Project Red's banner. It's called Gavin Infinity. Because it's basically a Sentai show pretending not to be a Sentai show.
Well, when you have three separate metal
it
heroes,
looks like the complete safest thing they could ever come up with.
Did you say safest?
Safest.
It sounded like you said safest.
Safest thing they could ever come up with.
I was like,
to launch a brand new franchise. You know, if you're going to launch a brand new franchise, you need to actually make it a brand new franchise, not try to just carry over everything from the franchise that is failing, that you are canceling because it's failed, into the new one. You need to start fresh. That's why Gavin was not like any Kamen Rider series, because Metal Heroes was replacing Kamen Rider because Kamen Rider had been canceled at the time. So trying to just redo Sentai with a new name, but say it's a new franchise, but make it the character from a Metal Hero show, is saying you actually don't want a new franchise. You just want the same line of garbage over.
I'm just watching your mouth because I'm waiting to see if spittle is going to
hold on.
No, don't you dare do that.
It still didn't work.
Because the way you were talking, I was like, waiting to see if you were going to unintentionally spit your word. Like, say it, don't spray it.
Be like Hulk Hogan. What's up, brother?
So, Eudice, what a badly written show. I had to wait for a moment to see if you were asking that in the form of a question for Jeopardy. Because at first I read it as, what's a badly written show? I
have to, I didn't get to release it yet because we ran out of time, but I created right before the live stream. I went to Meme Generator and took the Star Wars meme where he says, somehow Palpatine returned. And I put, somehow Gozyuger's writing keeps getting worse.
So, well, that's kind of
like how?
Nixie.
How can you get worse in your last few episodes?
Well, I like what they say. Well, it didn't start off bad, as it had something going on as leaf motif meta on the history of Sentai. Well, yeah, because it's one of those things where it started off and then it was like, did you think that was bad? Because I can make it worse. Or I can do this.
That is one other thing I forgot to mention with Sasuke for the Ninja Red Origami Red episodes. Sasuke actually also makes the comment that apparently all the other teams are still in their own universes with their powers. It's just this universe's powers are all in the rings or something like that.
Well, so next two comments I want to read, but I do have to ask a question about, lead motif, not lead motif. Is Eudice's Inoue's daughter will never be a showrunner again. I agree.
I don't think, I think she will.
Well,
I don't think I will give her a chance with another franchise for a good while. But
I don't think she was ready to be a showrunner, especially for Tokusatsu. Her comment was saying the only series that she watched was Dawn Brothers because her dad and she was helping with it, which is fine. I'm not a believer that you need to watch.
Okay, here's the problem though that I'm having now. She says Dawn Brothers is the only Sentai series she has seen, which is not the way you want to have the writer of your 50th anniversary celebratory series be. But did she even actually pay attention in Dawn Brothers? Because Dawn Brothers was full of character development consistently throughout the show. Every character still had presence in an episode, even if the show was about a different character. Like even Saru Brother, even though he's the weakest character in Dawn Brothers, he still was there in every episode that wasn't about him. Did Akiko just watch everything but not the character development stuff of Dawn Brothers? Like, did she just watch the show in a box?
I was gonna say she'd only be able to watch like 6 episodes if that's the case.
Because if Dawn Brothers is the only Sentai series she has ever seen, then she learned nothing about writing character development through Dawn Brothers.
Well, I do like that Kamen Rider 64 says we don't talk about Super Mega Force ever. The problem for me is I've not seen Super Mega Force, but it sounds like Fight Club.
I've only seen the last 3 episodes of Super Mega Force.
So my question is it like Fight Club so much that it is a delusion? Because if it's like that, I'll go with that. And then for Pixel says, but leitmotif meta storytelling is very hard to pull off without imploding in on itself in the long run. Well, I think, admittedly, things like that. Sorry, I'm kind of old, so I had to. A recurrent theme throughout a musical or literary composition associated with a particular person, idea, situation. Oh, thank you. I learned something. Actually, legitimately, I learned something new on what leitmotif is. So basically, think of it for like Dawn Brothers, putting in that context, Haruka was the main character.
Right.
So she is the reoccurrent character, not the theme, but that's associated with a particular person. So the theme of this being the rings, because now if we put in this the Kamen Rider perspective, if we have a reoccurrent theme, let's take Geats, because that's a more recent series. Geats' reoccurrent theme was the battles on who controls the world, so to speak.
Okay.
Or am I wrong?
I don't know. I'm lost on what you're talking about.
Well, with what Pixel, assumptively, is saying is that the ring war, that was the reoccurrent theme, one of the reoccurrent themes.
Right.
The No Ones,
but nothing came out of that.
The No Ones were a reoccurrent theme for Tega June. I don't feel like that came to anything. You had the side powers, because Hoeru, he's the only one who still used his power.
Of sniffing.
Yes, Ryuji was strong, but they didn't make him otherworldly strong anymore.
Ryuji's strength never came into play after he threw a tree at Hoeru trying to use Tega's sword for personal property.
Well, yeah.
I don't think Ryuji ever did anything with it since then.
Let's see. And yeah. Unless you've got skills like Takashi Miike or David Fincher, David Lynch, meta stuff is a death knell in storytelling. I will argue on David Lynch mainly because I find his movies to be absolutely jaw-droppingly boring. There's only 2 of his movies I've ever been able to watch from start to finish. Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks.
Well, we watched Videodrome and...
That's Cronenberg!
Oh, yeah.
David Lynch did like Mulholland Drive.
Okay, then I've only seen Blue Velvet from him.
I'm not a huge fan, but yes, he does meta really good. It's just David Fincher, 1000%, Takashi Miike. Most of his give me nightmares because I think he's the one who did Audition, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he also did a really good Ultraman Max episode.
Was it horror based, or was it very story driven? Because he does both really well. I like Takashi Miike.
It wasn't horror based for the most part, but it was a really, really good Ultraman.
It's
Max
kind of
episode.
like Satoshi Kon, I think, if I got his name right, for Paranoia Agent.
For Perfect Blue.
Yes. I think he would be great as an example for this leitmotif because of this reoccurring thing.
All right.
But then maybe what would wash the taste out of Gozyuger out of your mouth is a Miike remake of Masked Ninja Akakage. Is that real or?
Akakage? Mm-hmm. I think so.
Udis, it is hard, such as we have several bad examples of series becoming completely disfigured in the end. Yeah, because...
Decade, which I don't even think ever actually...
Did it ever end? Because even the actor has talked about he is the longest serving common rider. He is
Decade forever.
Well, yeah, because when we not met him, but when we sat on his panel at Power Morphicon.
Well, I mean, we did meet him at Power Morphicon.
Well, yeah, and he's adorable. But he even made the comment during Power Morphicon.
He will forever be...
Yeah, because all the other Rangers have talked about, well, because him and Marvelous will still be those characters forever. Now, the only person who literally lives as this character, because he so chooses to,
Go on Red.
But Decade's actor said, I've been Decade longer than any other rider has been their individual character.
I mean, except for obviously Ichigo, but...
Well, yes, but for modern...
But yeah, Decade never even the ending to Decade wasn't really an ending, and then the second ending to Decade really wasn't an ending, but the second ending, because the second ending was the Versus movie of Double, but the ending to Decade there still, because the Decade movie that was supposed to be the ending of the series didn't really have an ending, and then the Double movie kind of redid the Decade movie and still didn't truly have an ending, but was more complete-ish than the Decade movie. And so, no, I don't think Decade has ever actually had an actual ending.
I will say I learned another thing. Did you know that Big Hero 6 was a comic original?
Yeah.
By what company? It says in the comments, but I'm just curious if you knew.
Oh.
They're owned by another company that makes a shit ton of movies on their properties. So I'm trying to narrow it down to 3 companies now. But 2 are owned by 2 own comic book companies.
Well, Disney and Warner Brothers.
Okay, which one of the 2?
Well, it's a Disney movie.
Well, I don't think they owned them at that point, did they?
Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah. And then I like EA Games. Hello, I am Rex Max.
Or is it Lex? Because the subtitles changed it from Rex in episode 47 to Lex in episode 48.
So I'm almost done with the comments. But
I was going to say, because we probably should get to talk about episode 48.
Hey, Kaiji no Kami, what are your thoughts on the Kamen Rider Geto 25th anniversary movie?
I have no true thoughts on it right now. I hope for the best.
But plan for the worst.
But I'm not going to worry about it right now.
I'd be curious to see how they did it based on how the series ended.
Well, Rio, he left because the poster is Gills' face that looks like it's all broken apart.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see if it's going to follow Rio, but I don't know if it will because his actor has done some terrible shit.
Really?
Well, he was Time Pink's husband and he abused her, but and then he retired from acting because of
The
everything.
controversy.
But then again, who knows? So we'll see.
Do you think Kamen Rider Blade was planned to be the final installment of the Kamen Rider series?
No, I don't think it was planned that way. Technically, Agito was going to be the final installment of the Kamen Rider series, and then 9/11 happened.
Wait, what?
Well, so they were planning that Kamen Rider was. They were planning that Agito would when Agito ended.
Just having those two
series. That would be it. And then 9/11 happened, and they decided, well, we want to keep superheroes going, so let's keep Kamen Rider going with another show to shine for heroism because the world needs it.
And they chose Ryuki. The most foobar hero series ever.
But that's why Shinji was the fully positive, trying to keep everyone from fighting character. But yes, 9/11 is the reason Ryuki happened.
And they chose Ryuki for their positive representation of superheroes. I love Ryuki. It's why my cat is named Ren Akiyama. But still, Ryuki.
Yes.
I don't know what else was out there, them idea-wise, but if Ryuki was the most positive, I'm sorry that 9/11 made you think that was the best representation of heroes. Don't get me wrong, Shinji is positive as shit, but that's where you got
Oja,
who is literally a representation of all evil of the world.
But yes, 9/11 is the reason Kamen Rider continued.
I'm not going to say thank you 9/11 because I'm a New Yorker, but still, what the fuck, Japan? I still love it, but they didn't even advertise Kamen Rider to the United States. So how is it to help the world? Okay, moving on. They changed a lot of stuff in Dragon Ball. They had to preserve the body to be resurrected, and also Goku had a power in the Frieza saga where he learned all by touching Krillin's head. I'm trying not to visualize exactly how you said that because I've seen the series multiple times, but yeah, nah, Gavin in the A Games, and that was from Udis. A Game says, nah, Gavin and Fitting to me is just more a copy of Kamen Rider from what I've been seeing.
All I know is I just recently completed rewatching all 3 Space Sheriff series in the span of 26 days.
Oh yeah, he's been going on about this. I need to make him a fucking trophy with how much he's talking about this.
Oh, no, I'm just saying. So I
love you for it.
I have high expectations of what should be involved in Infinity.
Honey, come here. You should never have high expectations. It's okay.
Yeah, and I end up with you. Anyway, we have a live stream.
You're so mean. Okay, Kaiju acting like Mr. Krabs from the episode with the big pink worm creature.
Who's Mr. Krabs?
If I think you're talking about the right series, it's possibly SpongeBob, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said the A Games. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Gozyuger and Decade do have many similarities. Both feature a main protagonist who comes off as very controversial in a way, as they come off as a huge downer at times. From what I've seen, that's from Kamen Rider 64. I will agree because that is the truth.
But I actually liked Decade.
The series?
No, himself.
Oh, I was going to say you hated the series.
No, except, I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack to Decade was freaking amazing. And the Hibiki episodes were incredible. But no. I meant, I actually liked Decade as a character.
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people didn't. And I was like, he's like the only thing about the show I actually like besides the soundtrack.
Because he's an asshole.
No, that's my grandmother told me that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Kabuto is the
Which
asshole.
that's also rumored to be getting a 20th anniversary movie. Or 20th anniversary movie. Because Agito's 25th anniversary.
Well, I was going to say, it can't be 15th because they're not that far apart.
But supposedly they might also be giving Ghost an anniversary movie.
As long as they bring back the same band to do the opening song. I don't know what it is, but the band, I can't remember
I would rather
their
have
name.
a good band.
They are a perfect representation of excellence of music.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. Kaiju is so lost at this point in what Krelka is saying regarding themes and such. Yeah, he does. But then again, I think I make everybody lost. I think Goblin Infinity, it's probably going to be a comedic series. And then Priscilla M, that's what it is. But I like Priscilla.
Hello.
Priscilla M, hi. Being a woman myself, I'd love to hear which shows Krelika enjoys the most. Love your live streams. I feel like having a conversation with friends on a Sunday afternoon.
We were actually just
Thank you. I love that.
We were actually just talking about that she's going to do her own
Yeah.
Sentai top 10.
Yes.
Soon.
And admittedly, it's going to have very few of the series that his has, or in the same order.
Well, actually, you had quite a few from my list.
I need to go through it again and make sure I don't. No, I'm kidding. But
hers will be a clipless.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll probably end up talking more about the series in why I love them, versus having random clips. I will say there's only going to be one series on the list that I've actually never seen subtitled. That I've only seen raw Japanese. And I'm actually afraid to see it subtitled because of the fact that I wonder if it'll truly change what I know the series to be about in that perspective.
It won't. It'll make it better.
So, Kamara 64 says, I wonder if Boom Studios has any original characters like Marvel, DC, Image, Valiant, and Dark Horse.
They're the ones that do the Power Rangers comic. All their comic books are licensed. And they've pretty much been dropping their comics to focus on Power Rangers comics. Because
are they that good?
It depends who you ask. But Power Rangers is their is like their big seller.
Now, let me ask you the question. Is it Power Rangers or just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Yes.
So, well, I guess I'm asking, is it just the original suits?
I'm just saying yes.
No. So they don't have the Zeo?
Well,
or
Zeo
is...
Okay, they kind of do, but only in crossovers with the Mighty Morphin team.
But they're
because
the same people for some of them.
Well, what they did their own Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline that had all the Ranger teams from various timelines combining into a big event.
So does that mean we have like 3 versions of Tommy?
Yes. Draken, White Ranger Tommy, Green Ranger Tommy, well, actually more than that. Red Ranger Tommy.
Oh, it's 4
Black
versions.
Ranger Tommy.
When was he a Black Ranger?
Dino Thunder.
Oh, Dino Thunder, because he was the Green Ranger, he was the White Ranger, he was a Red Ranger, and then he was a Black Ranger. He wasn't any other color. Like he couldn't make it a full team by himself because he needs one more.
I think so. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they had already done it in that
And essentially, he's played 3 Sixth Rangers. Because actually, no, Black Abare
Black was not.
Yeah. Okay. So ZZ the Dark had to go. Ciao. Ryuki was made to show people what true justice is, from what I've heard. Once again, okay. Thank you, Commodore 64. True justice. If that's true justice in Ryuki, what the fuck, Japan? Once again, I love Ryuki. My cat's named after Ren. When I get other cats, they'll be named after Oja and Shinji, but still. Okay, moving on. Let me just finish. In this Pink Worm episode, SpongeBob, I got the episode. Mr. Krabs goes to the cash register and foams at the mail, trying to protect the register from potentially being eaten by the worm before apologizing to everyone. Oh, I actually have seen that episode.
All right, yes, episode 48 time.
Basically, everybody.
All right, so episode 48. Let's see. We start with Kumada.
No, I like his explanation. We're done. Everybody dies. We're done. The end. Have a good night.
So our episode continues off with Kumade being confronted by Lex, because his name is now Lex, not Rex.
Dura-Rex.
No, Dura-Lex, Soda-Lex, or...
All I thought of Dura-Lex, I thought of the battery company.
Oh my god.
I know it's Duracell, but
at least it wasn't the Energizer, because then the show would just keep going.
All I thought when I heard Dura-Lex, I was like, is that either a condom or a battery?
Well, he is a white.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so he basically says to Kumade, I'm here to destroy the world because the calamity is supposed to be equality, because everything needs to be balanced. So if you, and because of you, the world has not been destroyed like it was supposed to, because humanity should be extinct by now. Oh, and by the way, my Soldier of Death are actually all the grunts from all the past franchises. They're the representation of death. I'm like, really? You couldn't come up with another calamity for death, so you just decided that the grunts are death? Okay, sure. Is it because they die all the time? But anyway, so he's like, I will make you a true god of this world if you help me destroy all the humans. And then they just teleport around. Then they teleport into... Oh, and then we get to... The other Rangers are at the cafe. And where is Sumino and Kumade? Oh, Sumino is off doing whatever. Kumade is... We don't know where he is, but he's supposed to be coming here so Hoeru and Kumade can have their final battle. And then Kumade and Lex show up. And...
They have this... And Lex brings a gift saying, can you give Kumade to me? Because apparently he's a thing, not a person.
And so then he teleports them to another spot, and they go to fight, and Fire Candle shows up, absorbs energy from Lex to have his own demon form so they can have a stunt actor appear and be in a suit. And then Lex goes and disintegrates Ryuji. And then goes, oh, by the way, haven't you found it weird that your Unicorn Ranger hasn't been around here?
And he shows a finger with her ring.
Because I defeated her off screen in between episodes. Because heaven forbid we actually do anything with Sumino.
Well, I thought that was pretty bullshit. And I will say, as I said earlier, if for some reason this was how it was originally done and they didn't literally edit out all of her scenes, that also is terrible storytelling.
But even if it wasn't, even if that was in response to recasting,
yes,
they had plenty of time at this point to reshoot that fucking footage.
Oh, absolutely.
There was no reason to kill her, essentially, off screen. That is major bullshit. That is...
And how would he, because he was in his... When would he have had time to do it? Because essentially, the way the previous episode to this episode came to be, it was like he immediately came to Kumade. There was no break, essentially.
So, yeah, it was just, what? Are you frigging kidding me? so Sumino was taken out off screen. So we don't even get anything about Oto or any of that crap with her. And then he is Thanos snapping them all out of existence.
Except for our character sheet.
He grows big, takes down Tegajun, Sword, and
Goody Burn.
Goody Burn. Once again, I was thinking, oh, are they going to use Creation No One inside Tegajun to use, maybe the Creation No One is going to it's going to use its powers to wipe Calamity Lex out of existence. Nope, not the case. Now, I did like when Calamity actually revealed his true identity with the form. That was kind of cool. But then it turns out that the giant monster that we saw in the beginning of the series was just his shadow. But yeah, so everyone is wiped out except for Kamade and Hoeru. Kamade then goes Super Saiyan Platinum.
Well, basically, he takes all the power from the Prince of Destruction, Goody Burn, all the power from the rings, and his hair becomes gray. Like black with gray.
I was going to say, it's not even really gray. It's just they spray tanned. They sprayed a little tan on the top of his head.
Well, it's all gray, not tan. I know what you meant, though.
But like a tan of gray all over the top of his head. So
How is a tan?
it's like a suntan. It's not actually, your skin's not fully covered in the burn. It's just on top of your skin. So therefore, they spray tanned his hair gray because it's just, okay, fine, they give him a frost job.
Thank you!
They frosted the top of his hair.
Sorry.
And I'm just like, what is that supposed to do? So he just kind of went Super Saiyan Platinum. If you're going by, this is like what the Chadwick or whatever his name was, Dragon Ball Evolution movie would have been like if he had gone Super Saiyan. It just would have been there, he's Super Saiyan now.
Actually, I feel bad for that actor because he wasn't the worst thing.
And then he punches, he restores everything back to normal, so no more damage anymore.
But everybody who died.
Maybe. But
oh no, honestly,
he punches him into the ground. Essentially, he defeats Lex off screen again because they're going down into the hole, and
villains go down the hole.
Hoeru's character shield's fully activated at that time because he's blown across the freaking thing, across the city, from this explosion of Calamity assumptively dying with Kumade. He flies all the way into a gravel pit or the forest, all the rings sprinkled to him, so he becomes the winner of the ring battle by default.
Yep.
He didn't actually earn to be the...
And he's upset, which is the first time, I will say, I really...
And where is his brother's sword in all this?
Well, I will say I did like the actor for Hoeru. I like how he worked really hard to give emotion of saying, if you go, I'm all alone. Because I think...
I'm just thinking at the end when Sword's like, you don't say it! Don't say it! Or don't say it! Don't say it! The final don't say it winner! Yeah!
So obviously everybody's going to be resurrected, probably even his brother.
Well, his wish is going to be everyone's going to be resurrected, that none of it happened, and that they remain Gozyugers to protect the world. Fire Candle will obviously become a good guy because either Calamity will return at the last minute and Fire Candle will sacrifice himself or some crap like that. I am so done. how can the writing get worse at the end of the show? I mean, this is Game of Thrones level of bad.
Oh, for the last season?
Yeah. Like, holy crap. In fact,
this is basically when they took out the White Walkers with no effort. And all you did was sit there when Arya took out the lead Night Walker or
White
Walker, and you're just staring at the screen like you're telling me the threat just...
The threat of the whole series is over in the 3rd episode of the final season? What?
And then they meandered for like what, the last 3 or
but
six,
still
5?
rushed it all? Yeah. But yeah, this was Game of Thrones level bad.
Does that mean that this last episode is everybody against the Targaryens? Because Daenerys Targaryen was never treated like she was going to be the final villain.
No, I would disagree on that front. It's just her going crazy was done in such a rushed manner that deserved its own season. But yeah, so Hoeru is the ring bearer winner by default because everybody else died. Like,
well, we all knew that he would, because this is not going to be Kamen Rider Ryuki. So we all knew Hoeru was going to be the winner.
But it is going to be Kamen Rider Ryuki because the ending is going to be a reset button ending.
But is that what he chose at the end?
That's what Ren ended up choosing was for everything to reset.
Oh, yeah.
But
sorry, I was thinking that's what they did in episode final.
No, episode final just ends with Ren and Shinji about to do their final battle because
it leads into the series.
What's her name killed herself?
Oh yes, you're right.
So Kanzaki goes crazy and just shatters the mirror world.
Oh yeah. Well, the difference though is Ren did it because of his trauma of losing his lover.
But
there's no trauma here.
Well, yeah, Shinji died in the previous episode, so his
moving on.
But yes, this episode. So the Death Calamity were just the grunts. Sumino was essentially killed off screen. However,
we got to see it inevitably.
It doesn't matter because it was a flashback sequence.
So nobody else but the audience saw it.
Hoeru becomes the ring winner by default. How do you...
That doesn't even offer him any kind of character growth, because he said he was going to win at the beginning of the series. Susumu says our last battle will be between the two of us. Hoeru just wins by default.
Well, and Susumi just gave up. Oh, how am I even going to do a full review of this second half when I actually get there?
Lithium. That's what we already discussed. That's even what the A Games has authorized. That Lithium reviews.
How is it just so bad that, like, okay, we did forget to mention Fire Kando actually eating the Calamity in the early...
Well, because I didn't know he ate the fucking Calamity. I didn't think of it as him eating the Calamity.
When he ate the Pestilence guy or the Famine guy?
I didn't even remember him eating him.
Yeah, because he grabbed the body and he started going...
I didn't consciously think about that until Lex, whatever the fuck his name is, said it. And I was like, oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he devoured the Calamity like it was a fruit from Gaim.
So, yeah, because fruits in Gaim are like Soylent Green. So, and if you don't know what Soylent Green is...
But, Yeah.
There's movies you gotta watch.
This whole episode just completely undermined the entire series, even what was already being undermined. Like
It's kind of funny because it makes me wonder, and we'll never truthfully know, how much the series would have undermined itself if not for the controversy.
But even like, just I have never seen a Sentai series undermine its core cast this badly since Ryu Soldier, and even Ryu Soldier never went to this level of making its cast background characters.
The only character Ryu Soldier I think did the dirtiest with was Nada.
Yes, but he wasn't like the main cast.
Well, actually, no. I'll step that one up. The brothers.
No, they still held a presence throughout the entire
True.
show. They weren't killed off screen. Like, even Lex. Lex is kind of worse than the giant freaking heart that was the final boss.
He actually reminds me of like the assumptive big boss from the beginning of Ryu Soldier, who like dies the second episode, and you're like, wait, I thought he was going to be a main character.
No, he lasted 5 episodes.
5.
The one Joji Nakata
Yeah,
voiced,
the tank.
who then came back. Tank Joe? No. Tank Joe was I don't. But yeah, it just, this show has just completely undermined its entire cast. Even Q Ranger and Ninja were not this bad.
Well, and the thing you can even forgive Q Ranger is it tried something new by having
such a large cast.
A large cast where you had to go to the point in series to do like this little roulette wheel or bingo wheel to spit out 5 balls of who was going to do the work for that episode.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. So
I just can't wait for the finale to be done with.
So he's going to spiral. So while he's spiraling, I'm going to go back to this.
The comments?
Yes.
Episode 48.
I thought Duralex was a glass plate company. That's from Udis. Possibly. There's a lot of things that I could put there. I heard that there was gonna be no Rider series in 2005. That's what Kamen Rider 64 says. It says the reason I thought Blade was probably intended to be the final Rider series because since that Hibiki wasn't planned to be a Rider show.
Yeah, Hibiki was not planned originally to be a Rider show. It just ended up becoming one because they couldn't think of how they wanted to go about replacing Rider.
Mm-hmm. But maybe that's where he's coming
And then by that point, Rider was institutionalized.
And so then the A game says, so either Tommy would have been the Pink Ranger or a Yellow Ranger.
Oh, wouldn't it have been amazing if Don Brothers had come to America and Tommy had been the Pink Ranger and Don Brothers? That would have been cool.
So the A game says, one fact that people saw via behind-the-scenes video, episode 48 is the first episode filmed after the dropping of Maya. Did you two notice how Unicorn wasn't in the episode except for the suit scene? Well, and that makes sense, but at the same time, as you
They
stated,
had plenty of time to
and
put Sumino in there.
The mecha clones from Bioman became ghosts as well in Gozyuger. Pesket Scorpio says, hi everyone, and how are you? So hello, my friend, we're doing well, I'm doing okay, getting over some cold and other...
Who said that?
Pesket Scorpio.
Oh, hello.
And then Yuta says hi, and then, man, Super Sentai is almost over before a long break.
About damn time.
And apparently via the Toei blog on this week's episode, the theme of Super Sentai is keep on living with others. Basically teaching people we're not alone in the world. But they killed everybody. What the Japan! You used Ryuki as a way to inspire superheroes in the world after 9/11. And on your blog, keep on living with others by killing them all?
Well,
I think your message is getting muddled with the presentation. But the message is important. Keep on living with others.
I love though.
Do not be broken apart by all the controversies in the world.
Well, the producer of Gozyuger posted today that they are very pleased with the finale and that all the writers gave it their all. And all I'm thinking is, if this is giving it their all, I would hate to see these writers half-ass something.
Now, Anthony Sarkis says Rex's voice actor also voiced Mashin Fire in Karen Major. Was it for both the smiley face and was that the same voice actor?
It'd probably be the same voice. But that might be why I've heard that voice before, because that voice did sound familiar.
It did. And Deny said, I know sounds weird, but if I see Kaiser Fire Candle, I think if Fire Candle mutate, both Ryuso Moria and Kamen Rider Storios see odd question, but that's what they think of. Storios? I honestly would have liked if we got to see Goju Puller recolor Power Up with the black and white yes, when he officially morphed and he was that black and red combo because of his first time, I would have preferred him to have stayed the black and red before he turned into his normal color combination. I was a little pissed by that too, the A-Games. Kamen 64 says Jason David Frank was in talks to play Len Kamen Rider Wing Knight and Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, but they decided not to cast him because they didn't want to confuse the show of Power Rangers.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that, especially because he's the most prominent. Also, see, Mashiro sacrificed to fight Rex. I always think Song Out of Love from Husband Hotel is the song about protecting friends in universe. I think if you're talking about for season 2, it'd be like the Hear Our Hope, which yes, I will agree. Actually, that means I could hear Abel's version of that song with Polar about him sacrificing himself somewhat. I theorized that these final episodes was something else, but then Maya got terminated fire, meaning rewriting the final 2 episodes was the only option. And that is entirely possible. But they've had enough time where if they wanted to redo the episodes, they could have. There was nothing locked, signed, sealed, and delivered until you get a week before air date. Just thinking about how they used to do all the Super Sentai shows.
No excuse.
Is also again see Howeru Win Ring Battle. I just this denied night. Wonder and think the song Anxiety by Docha Lee because of him having all that anxiousness. I could see that. Or it's Joichi, not Docha Lee. I'm really bad with pronouncing names today.
Just today?
Just make the review. This for me, A-Games, just helping you with this. Just make the review for Gozyuger's second half, 5 to 10 seconds long. Say everybody dies and cut the camera down. There you go. See, I like that. And looks like that Kabuto is getting a 20th anniversary, like you said. Special as a logo has been leaked and set photos. Anthony Sarkis says, do you think the Calamity should have been the main villain organization instead of Brydon? Yes. Because it would have made, or had Brydon be the first half of the series villain, kind of like King Oger, have Tegajun be defeated, and then have the Calamities come in as the second half, finding out that due to Tegajun's Brydon being defeated,
it would have been too much like King Oger.
I know, but it would have helped save the show. So is Rex supposed to be the reincarnation of Platis?
If they, well, yeah, there are a lot of issues. But if nothing else, it could have been that Creation No One was actually the Calamity, and when Tegajun inserted Creation No One into her as the true pilot, the Calamity woke up and took over her body instead of the Kuon crap.
Yes. So is Rex supposed to be the reincarnation of Cladis? I thought he was the leader of Cladis.
Yeah, I the way they described it is Cladis is actually the
name of the org.
Their organization name, and he is the leader of the Calamity.
I meant with Power Rangers, not Power Rangers. I mean, no, you're fine, Commodore 64. I think with JDF. Thomas Proctor, hello, said, yeah, again, like I said in your top 10 Sentai video, your Sentai ranking will not change unless you have a big change of thought 10 years later. Commodore 64, Zetsun Gav on Infinity in a superhero time block would be interesting to see. Still waiting to see if it's going to be officially announced, but I don't know. And any thought that...
you want to see it in the U.S.?
Yes.
Is that what they were talking about?
I think so, Commodore 64. Let me know for sure. I would like to see it, but I don't think it's been announced for U.S. Now, any thought that Boken Red, Gokai Red, and Jewel Ego return in the Versus film?
My thought is, where's All Red and Gal Red? So the Versus film, they just showed that Gozyuger versus Bluesky will feature Gokai Red, Jewel Eagle, and Boken Red. So my comment was, where's All Red and Gal Red? Because if you're going to do 3 of the anniversary series, why not do the full 5 anniversary?
Because Gal Ranger
was the 25th, All Ranger was the 20th. Because All Ranger.
Well, you also have to have Zen Kaiser.
But he's not an official Red, so that's fine. But if you're going to do 3 of them, you need to do, well, yeah, I guess him as well. But you need to do all of them.
Well, yeah.
All the series that were celebratory. So O Red, Gal Red.
Was O Red and Gal Red?
Yes.
Were they? Because I never got the feel of O Ranger or Gal Ranger as being celebration.
Yes, O Ranger celebrated the 20th anniversary.
I know it's celebrated, but
and Gal Red, they had the Gal Ranger versus Super Sentai movie where they were establishing all the 25 team or the teams before Gal Ranger.
Okay, Gal Ranger, sure, but O Ranger,
it still was part of the celebratory line, so it should have been everyone for the celebrations.
Okay. No, I'm not disputing. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just saying.
Other
if you're going to do it, you need to do it. You need to go all out.
But then again, with Gozyuger, I don't feel like that was really a celebratory season.
They still did that because they also had Go-Kaiger coming in for the 2-parter.
Yeah, but Go-Kaiger comes into everything.
Yeah, but they specifically did it for the 40th anniversary.
But Go-Kaiger comes into everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. If you're going to do those 3, you need to do them all.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like after watching this Gojo episode, the A-Games, and I'll get back to some of the other in a second, but I like this. I'm ready for the Muppet Show one-time return special on Wednesday. There's a Muppets return special? Thank you for saying that. I'm going to have to check it out. Okay. I said Thomas Proctor, said that. Oh. Something truly amazing after the long break. That's Thomas Proctor. Would you guys see the Paul brothers appear as guest characters in Mortal Kombat? No.
No. Fuck no. Fuck those little shits.
I don't like the Paul brothers. I honestly, I've never liked the Paul brothers because, well, one,
they're scumbags. They're garbage.
Well, I don't care about their controversy or anything like that. I've seen a video or two because of the whole fucking controversy with the Suicide Force that they did. But I've seen a couple of their videos and I don't respect them as people enough to be responsible. They have never done anything to demonstrate that they actually care about the community. It's kind of like Mr. Beast after a while. He has become a villain himself. I can't remember the name of the person that I watch occasionally that has shorts. I think it's John Jay or something. He goes out, buys food from different local restaurants and gives it to the homeless in Minnesota, mind you. Those are people that I respect. I don't care if you make lots of money or if you don't, but if you have to give back to the community. And the Paul brothers have never done that, in my opinion. So that's all I'm going to say on that. My problem with Gozyuger from Anthony is it doesn't really pay off what they set up. It never, I've never felt like it's paid off anything except for Kinjiro. Kinjiro is the only character that I think from the start to the end that they somehow paid off his story.
But even his story arc had no meaning to it because he's been allowed to remain young after he lost his ring. So it completely diminishes everything that his story arc was derived from.
So Kamar64 has an off video question, but I think this is pretty cool. Do any of you keep in touch with old coworkers of yours? He does more than I do.
Yeah.
I have like one or two that I'll keep in touch with that I used to work with, but you actually have really good relationships with some of your coworkers, some of your former customers, patrons that you have known for over 20 years.
Well, I wouldn't say even over 20, but...
Well, I'm thinking of Robert.
Well, we have Brandon from the library.
Well, yeah, I have some, but these are many
for Best
friends
Buy,
that
I've got Charlie, John, and then another John who died a few years ago, and then Richard who just died earlier. Well, actually, I guess it's now last month.
Yeah,
and
two
Chris,
deaths in his world.
No, well, last month, yeah. And then we have Chris, who also a customer named Chris, who also died a couple years ago.
Well, I'm thinking of the actor
Ronald from the library.
The other Ronald from the library. Oh.
I haven't heard from him.
And then
in years.
A friend of his named Michael, who he knew from the library, who passed away a number of years ago, who you talked to.
Yeah, he died. What, right after Biden was reelected?
Reelected.
Or was elected?
It was like, yes, he was the vice president before, but never the president. So no, we do keep in touch with some of our coworkers. But the coworkers I keep in touch with are more so friends of mine that I've established. But in modern times, most of the people who I've had as coworkers, I really don't keep in touch with, and it's not anything against them. It's just sometimes
they don't have the same interests. So
well, yeah, I don't have the same interests, the same enthusiasm outside of work, so I really don't have much in common. But if you can create long-lasting friendships and relationships with coworkers outside of work, absolutely. But I think that's really how I put it. And it depends on where you're working. Let's see. Also, it's been confirmed that Gov and Infinity will be replacing Sentai in SHT, meaning superhero time will be Gavan and Zets. Yes, but we don't know if America will also get a superhero time, like where we'll see both shows airing back to back in the US like they do in Japan.
I think it would benefit Tokusatsu a lot, especially if their live streams were, instead of just Zets for 2 days straight, it was back and forth.
Yes, I think there would be some benefits. And the A Games, the Muppet and Seth Rogen are doing a one-time special for the Muppet Show as a backdoor pilot for a potential revival on Wednesday on ABC and Disney Plus. So I'll have to check it out.
Seth Rogen.
Well, he's not the director or writer of Animal Farm. He's just acting in the movie. He's not a terrible actor.
Oh, I think he's a horrible actor. No, he can write some good comedy. He's just himself not that good.
Well, he's changed a lot, I think, when he separated himself from James Franco, too. Let's see. The calamity was a disappointment. The ring battle was pointless until Eru won by default. The world reset. Sumino's sister, etc. This had so much promise, yet dropped the ball so hard. So I will agree, and this will be our last comment for it because I think this is a way to.
Is that the end of the comments?
Yes, but this is the last. Well, no, we have one other comment. Well, they both lead into each other. They often say coworker. So, do you grow apart after some time? They often say that coworkers are not really your friends. So
it just depends.
It depends. Like, none of my coworkers that I'm friendly with are personal friends. Like, I get along really well with my current boss. She's a friend, but I wouldn't tell her my deepest secrets necessarily because we don't have a lot in common. Do you grow apart with coworkers as friends? I think you grow apart with any friends as friends. One of my longest lasting friends, her name is Jessica. We've known each other since 1992. And we've grown apart. We still talk to each other. We're still friends. And we still have a deep connection. We've experienced way too much together to not have such a deep connection. But as you age, you're going to grow apart with a lot of people. I now truly understand where my grandfather came from when he says you can count your do or die friends on one hand.
Well, I will say that really the only reason I still talk to some of the friends from high school is because of social media.
I was going to say.
I mean, Radimus would probably be the only. Well, no, Radimus and maybe one or two others are really the only ones I would still be talking to outside of social media. It's just social media made it easy.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. Because we have a lot of friends. Don't get us wrong. Everybody has a lot of friends. But our do or die friends, we have Chris Lidge, we have Nebula, we have Silverquill, we have Kevin, Ashley, and then Ron. He doesn't have a screen name. So we have 6 that are do or dies from Colorado, and we have others as well. But you're gonna grow apart. That's the nature of getting old, I will admit. And I will say that leads into this being why it's going to be our last comment for today. Admittedly, is because it goes in line with the blog that the A-Game shared. And that's why it's going to be a little heavy to end, but we have one more fucking episode. I'm just going to say that. Is if you're in the United States, there's a lot of shit going on in our country right now. And if you're not in the United States, congratulations, you're probably in a saner environment than we are right now.
Although you're probably hearing about all the insanity going on.
I will say, the way you look for a second, I was like, you have shorts on, right?
Yeah.
But, okay. But what I'll say.
That would be interesting at, like,
Power. You've been flashing everyone. We never noticed. But all I will say is that if you can stay out of politics to a degree, stay out of politics. If that helps you stay sane. If you are a protester, protest consciously. Don't go anywhere alone. Don't go into a situation where you can be threatened by somebody who should never threaten in the first fucking place. So be careful. Never do anything alone if you're
protesting. How are we getting into protest?
Because the friends. Stay close to friends. And at the same time, honor the people who should have never been killed in the first place for absolutely no reason. I don't care your political affiliation or anything like that. I've seen a lot of cops in my life. I don't honestly, I respect cops because they have weapons. But I've been around a lot of dirty cops in my childhood.
Oh, we had dirty cops in Aurora.
And assault us in Aurora. But I will say at the end of the day, I know cops know how to appropriately detain and stop somebody from doing something without a kill shot. That's all I'm going to say. But if you're in America and you want to protest against what's going on politically, protest smartly and not alone. If you are overwhelmed by politics, find other things. Maybe not Gozyuger, but find other things that can help you stay sane. And just know that if nothing else, you have us to help stay sane as well, even though he cries fakely really, really badly. But with that, I just want everyone to stay safe, stay warm, because apparently the entire country is freezing, and have a good rest of your week. And I don't know, is there anything else you want to say, Dork?
Besides the normal stuff?
Yes.
No, next week we'll do the final live stream on Gozyuger. We wanted to go through these episodes now, though, so that we can fully focus on just the finale.
We did?
Yes.
It's going to be a 5-minute episode, I promise you. This is what happened by... Yeah.
That's not how it's going to work. But, so, there was a comment from a Justin Rowley who said they liked how the full season was going full circle. Unfortunately, they're coming in as we're finishing up, because also I'm kind of hungry.
But it is full circle in a way. I will agree with that.
But as always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, wherever else you guys are clicking to support me. You can support us.
Wow, Vox. It's just about you?
Okay, you can support me on Patreon, Bluesky at tokuaannetwork, Network, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, my website, creativitybydesignllc.com.
You're that close.
creativitybydesignllc.com. No, that's for the old store that we're getting rid of. There are links in the description for GoFundMe's to help the channel survive another 10 years, to help for health purposes, which will also go to help recoup costs from my dad's stuff. And that's all we've got until next week. Be on the lookout for some Godzilla comics this week. Another Toku Topics.
Yes, there apparently is another channel called Toku
Yeah,
Topics.
that was weird. There was apparently there's apparently a YouTube channel called Toku Topics, which I didn't know about when I just randomly picked Toku Topics for my video series. But whatever. So check them out as well. And until next time, bye. Indu.